All right. Hello. Sorry, I took a picture of you by accident before then. So.
It's okay.
Okay. Hi. What's your name?
I'm Isa from the National Union of Students of the Philippines.
Great. And so right now you're probably preparing in some certain way for various actions leading up to the SONA ng Bayan.
Yeah, definitely.
So, how many demonstrations have you been to in terms of the SONA?
I've been to about 3 demonstrations.
Wow.
Starting 2008.
So 2008.
Onwards, yeah. The first one that I attended was in 2008. That was my very first SONA ng Bayan, and it was quite an experience for me. Well, first of all, that very first SONA actually inspired me to take part in more rallies and in more demonstrations, because I saw that in the midst of that crowd there was very clear solidarity among people, and that in that crowd you could actually see how people felt about the president and how they felt about what was going on. Basically, what I saw in that SONA is the real state of the nation as compared to what came out in the speech.
Excellent. So that was when Gloria was still president, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a question then, a follow-up to that. So you're saying that the first time you went to the SONA, they actually encouraged the SONA ng Bayan. It actually encouraged you to go to more demonstrations and also to participate in the upcoming SONA ng Bayan this year.
Yes.
So what would your reply be to some people that say that the SONA ng Bayan is, useless, or it doesn't really make a difference? Like, what would you say to those people?
I definitely say that they're wrong. That they're wrong, of course. The SONA ng Bayan is as necessary as basically it's necessary. If a person needs to breathe, then people have to have their own State of the Nation address. Exactly, because whatever comes out in the President's SONA is basically just rhetoric. It's proven. Whatever the president says, it's just rhetoric, and it's never based on what the people are actually experiencing. You get facts, you get numbers, you get statistics, but you don't actually know where these come from. And we've seen with this particular administration that they have this tendency to figure out ways to skew information or to make statistics serve their own purpose. So this particular SONA ng Bayan, I believe, is very important because it will show that what comes out in the speech is not reality. It's more of a fantasy that the government would want the media to spread, whereas the SONA ng Bayan is reality. It's what people are actually experiencing, and it's what needs to be addressed by the government, basically. So yeah, that's it. The SONA ng Bayan is necessary because it is what's real. It is the real state of the nation, and it is the true presentation and representation of what's going on in the country right now. So that's basically it.
So as a student, right? So you're telling me that there's a juxtaposition, like putting side by side what the president is going to say about how the state of the Philippines is, and the people's SONA, the SONA ng Bayan, is going to show that whatever the president says is not necessarily true or inaccurate, and they're going to present a more realistic representation of the conditions of the country. Yes. So as a student, what would you say would be maybe what Nonoy might say about the current state of Philippine education, and what is according to what you experienced as a student, the real condition?
I'm thinking, of course, that he's going to be building up on the K-12 program for basic education, but he's going to be, of course, saying again that what we're expecting is he's going to present this as his administration's way to answer the education crisis. But from reality, of course, K-12 is not the answer. News reports, recent news reports have shown that because of the administration's insistence on pushing through with K-12, what we got were inadequate classrooms. Kids who were crammed in makeshift classrooms. 80 kids in classrooms made for about 20. And then we have volunteer teachers paid only 3,000 pesos for an entire month. And basically what we got was more problems, more things that the people didn't need. And basing from last year, the government has shown absolutely no support for state universities and colleges. In fact, his administration was the one that implemented a historic budget cut, 1.39 billion, and that's a decisive act on his part. It's basically him showing how much he doesn't care about the youth and how much he doesn't care about getting Filipinos educated. So as a student, it's clear that Noy isn't really a good president. So that's it. He doesn't care. He's out of touch with the reality, and all of these policies is every policy that he's pushed through, that he's implemented, is anti-people, and it's just a continuation of Arroyo's older policies. So there's no change, there's no progress, and if anything, the only changes we got are changes for the worse. So that's basically it.
So now that we've heard from what you have to say, you're definitely going to take that sentiment to the SONA ng Bayan to let the nation hear what the students really think about the current Aquino administration, along in solidarity with the rest of the Philippine sectors, right?
Yes, definitely. Of course.
Okay, that's excellent. So we'll see you at SONA.
Yeah, see you.
Okay.